So in this video, I used some heroes that are underrated or not really noticed, but could actually become meta because of the fighter emblem buff. A lot of viewers have been requesting the heroes I used in this video, so I hope you enjoy it. First is Lucas. We were at a disadvantage during the early game, but we managed to recover after that beautiful play. Gusion also had plenty of time to secure the turtle since the enemy jungler was dead, but instead, he dove onto the marksman, failed to kill them, wasted all his skills, and ended up low HP. Our Edith also didn't help Gusion even though she had her ultimate, and she could have easily burst the turtle, but she just didn't care. The enemies even had enough time to reach the turtle, and they ended up taking it. Those two were really stupid there. That play you saw earlier was already Odette's best moment, because after that one kill, she went on to feed the enemies 10 times in a row. Carmilla, Odette, and Edith were a trio in this game, and Gusion and I were the only solo players. What's funny is Carmilla kept blaming Gusion, even though her two trio teammates were playing worse than Gusion. This is why I hate having a trio as teammates. They're extremely toxic as Ellie. If you don't know her, check my latest community post. Alucard even got a maniac here, and I thought he was going to get a savage too because Gusion waited for him. I thought he was going to give the savage to the enemy, but thankfully he didn't. We were about to lose, and honestly it's really hard to play when you have teammates like this. Put yourself in my shoes. Though I'm sure you've experienced this too. I had a trio and one solo teammate. The solo was lagging and didn't want to take objectives. Then one of the trio kept focusing too much on trash-talking him, to the point that he couldn't make proper plays anymore. But what's worse is that the other two in their trio were actually even dumber than the solo. But since they were a trio, they kept blaming their random solo teammate. And there I was, trying to carry this super team. But anyway, very few people use Lucas now. He got hit by a big nerf before. The cooldown of his skill 1 and 2, the damage, and even the energy he gains per second. Even though his ultimate technically has no cooldown, in reality, it feels like it has the same cooldown as Yuzhong's ult. The problem is Yuzhong's ultimate can be affected by CDR, while Lucas's can't. So it really takes a long time before you can use it again. Earlier, I couldn't handle Alucard, but now I can easily beat him even with the turret helping him. But of course, Edith helped a lot in that moment. I wouldn't have been able to kill Alucard without her. Here, my teammates forced a turret dive even though the Lord and the minions were already low HP. They could have been cleared easily, especially since Ixia had her ultimate. But it is what it is. 3 teammates died. We could have ended the game there, but I guess we'll just finish it later. I think Lucas with his ultimate is Kagura's kryptonite. I mean, she already used all her dashes and even her flicker, but she was still so easy to kill. And when it comes to items, you don't even need Athena's shield. Guardian helmet and Queen's wings are enough. Especially when the enemy only has one source of magic damage like in this game, and it's a burst type. I know that with my items, they can't burst me, so there's no need to build magic defense like Athena's shield or radiant armor. We managed to take the Lord after winning the team fights, and eventually we finished the game. That kind of match is really exhausting. I prefer games where both teams are strong. I mean teammates who know what they're doing and aren't toxic. It sucks when the enemy team is all good players, but your teammates are a mix of Dark System and toxic players. So yeah, It's actually better to use Lucas now because of the fighter emblem. He was already using the fighter emblem before, but it's more worth it now since he uses basic attacks and skills a lot. He really needs to. He can't rely on skills alone. It's the same with Alpha. A lot of people have been requesting him too, but my early game with him in this match didn't go well. It's been a long time since I last used Alpha, and this was really my first game with him in a while. His passive requires you to hit the enemy with your skills twice to trigger it. After that, every time you deal damage to the target, whether it's basic attacks or skills, you deal true damage. And all of Alpha's skills, skill 1, 2, and 3, actually deal true damage on the second wave. I only realized this when I read the skill descriptions. I used to think only his passive dealt true damage. So the heroes that get marked by him are really in trouble because they look squishy. But from the start, you need to hit your first and second skills because it's super important for triggering the passive, and it makes your next basic attacks deal true damage. Actually, I described it a bit wrong. Your next basic attack doesn't deal true damage. Instead, Beta will spray something after you deal damage to a marked enemy, and that's what deals true damage. This is also why the fighter emblem works so well on him. He uses basic attacks a lot. He doesn't rely too much on his active skills, and he can deal so much damage just by using basic attacks as long as the enemy has a mark. But his second skill is really good because, aside from dealing damage, it has built-in HP regen. Combine that with Spell Vamp, and it's easy to refill your HP when you use the second skill. Come to think of it, Oracle would actually be great on him to improve his sustain, especially if you have a healer as a teammate, since it also increases the healing you receive from allies. I didn't build it in this game, I just realized it now. So maybe next time, I'll go for Oracle. Push this turret, bro. Why are you prioritizing diving that enemy roamer? It would be way more worth it to push this turret. Here, Eamon was really slippery, just messing around with me because of his camouflage. But sorry for him, luck isn't on his side this time. Here, our marksman could have died, but it was okay because the enemy used a lot of resources. I was really sure my ultimate hit Yujin there, but it slipped. I didn't actually hit anyone with my ultimate during this whole team fight, but despite that, my damage was still really high. Plus, with Sky Piercer dealing true damage, the enemies just suddenly died. We ended up winning that team fight, and shortly after, the game was over. Alpha is strong in certain matchups, but he has a lot of weaknesses. He lacks mobility skills, so even just slow effects can give him a hard time, especially against heroes with heavy crowd control. Next game, it's not a fighter this time. It's a marksman using the fighter emblem. The fighter emblem is a huge help for Carrie because she really benefits from Spell Vamp and Lifesteal. Who here remembers the time when Carrie's meta build still included Spell Vamp? Her build before has Bloodlust Axe, which was removed and merged into War Axe. Our Uranus in this game was getting solo killed by Cho, even though he had defensive items. But I don't know. He just didn't seem to know how to play strategically. Her first and second skills give a lot of sustain if you have Spell Vamp, and I think her passive also triggers Spell Vamp. But what I really liked is her amazing early game sustain. She doesn't even need the common emblem now, since her mana consumption is manageable. The only issue is her HP when being poked in lane. Just use her first skill on minion waves, and it will refill around 20% of her HP. That's actually really good for a late game hero who really needs early game sustain. Here, I even used Flicker to kill Granger, but it's okay. Our roamer stole it. Then the enemies started gathering, and I intentionally went to the tower because I could recall if things got worse. Just kidding. I actually wanted to avoid their Lunox, but I got caught because Thamuz had retribution. I felt like I was the main character in this game. The damage was insane, and it felt like I couldn't die. Carrie is especially good against tanky enemies because of her HP-based true damage, but she's almost useless against fast assassins who can kill her instantly. She can shine in the late game, but early to mid-game is really tough, especially if you're being focused by the enemy. She's really fun to use in the late game, but you really need to reach the late game first. In the early game, you should play safe and wait until you complete your Trinity build. Here, my plot armor finally broke because I was about to die, and I ended up taking all the enemy's damage. I wanted to finish this game even earlier, but it didn't end because there were no minions. And again, the enemy struggled so much, thinking they could still win. But it's okay. It's just a game, where sometimes we win, and most of the time we lose.